This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Exhibit A, the storage. In Pokemon Pokopia, there are 198 blocks, 51 building kits, 54 materials, 46 food items, 900 placeable objects, 211 miscellaneous items, and the largest storage chest in the game has a capacity for 60 items. Now, this data might not be 100% accurate. I did just go on to Cerebi and count everything up myself. I would assume that it's pretty accurate. You know, that Joe Merrick, he's just been working overtime. But oh my God, the storage is so outrageously bad in this game. Hi, my name is Liss. I love video games, but the only thing that I maybe love more is complaining. I'm super anal about little quality of life things, and I am not a game developer. I don't have any game dev experience, but I do have lots of opinions. One of those opinions is that I think Pokemon Pokopia is game of the year. Yeah, I already said that. I don't even really care that the year hasn't ended yet. It's game of the year. Sorry. In terms of Pokemon, it's one of the best Pokemon spin-off games. But for the genre that it is a part of, which I would say is like the cozy life sim game, it is the blueprint. People are calling her Miss Pokemon Pokopia the Animal Crossing killer. I didn't say that. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think that Animal Crossing, specifically like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Pokemon Pokopia, could learn from each other. But in general, I try not to compare too much. Now, I cannot understand for the love of God why Pokemon Pokopia didn't just yoink what Animal Crossing did with the storage. The big void. I love having a big, huge void that I shove all of my items into. And hey, sometimes I reach the capacity, the storage limit. So it's like, okay, I'll just go ahead and I'll go upgrade my storage limit. You know, maybe it costs me a little bit of bell, but it's just a system that works. And so I don't understand why we didn't just do that with Pokopia. I drive myself absolutely crazy trying to organize all of the items in this game. Outside of the storage system just being in general what I believe to be a terrible design, there are subcategories as well to that. One of those being music. In my opinion, I think we should go ahead and yoink another thing from Animal Crossing and just have a music catalog. Crazy idea, I know. As you play through the game, you stumble across all of these different CDs, sometimes even duplicates. And all I can think of each time I stumble across a new CD is, well, damn, now I gotta be responsible for this CD. It would be so great if we could just go ahead and boop, take that CD, register it into a song catalog, and decide what song plays at each CD player instead of having to have the physical CD item. Like, and I thought that's what maybe DJ Rotom would do. No. That is not what DJ Rotom does at all. How very disappointing that he does nothing but hold like a couple of CDs, a handful. How would I fix the storage situation? I would make it exactly like Animal Crossing. Sorry. This game could have really benefited from having a nebulous storage that you can just shove shit into, and it categorizes all perfectly and nicely. We'll get there. Before you go typing, we'll get there. And storage wouldn't even be something that anybody thought or complained about. Instead, it is on the forefront of every player's mind the second they hit like the 4-hour mark into the game until the end of time. Since it's too late, we are past the point of no return. How I would maybe do a quick fix for this is add to stack. Now, I tried to explain this on stream and I was met with a lot of very confused people who didn't necessarily understand what I was referring to. The example of add to stack that I'm thinking of is Stardew Valley. Oh, I come home and I went and I had such a good mine haul. Oh, all my gems and all my wonderful things that I got. Okay, let me go to my storage shed. And then I'll just go up to each individual chest and press add to stack, because then it'll take all of my wonderful things, all of my ore, and it goes in this chest. All of my the rocks, it goes in this chest. It's one easy button, add to stack. It adds it to the chest for me so I don't have to think about it. I just go up to the chest. Like, I hate to do the comparison to just like all of my favorite games, but I feel like those are good examples. Stardew Valley is another game where, you know, there's chests and you kind of have to establish your own storage similar to Pokopia and, you know, use your own little methods, determine where you want each item to go, how you want things organized. You know, the chests have limits to the amount of items you could put in them. But what's really great about Stardew Valley is it's not on the forefront of my mind to reorganize my storage and make sure I'm putting things in the proper place every single time that I sit down and play. I'll maybe reorganize my Stardew Valley storage 3 times a playthrough. Now, while my storage skills in Pokopia are getting better, I have chests in each of the areas with the area-specific items. And then my one big general storage is in the Withered Wastelands. I've been building these little secret base underground storage facilities, which is kind of fun, but like, oh my God, this could have been so much less of a headache. You know what else is a headache that absolutely should not be? Creating a website can be so difficult. There's a lot of things that you need to know and a lot of knowledge you need to have that not everybody has. So thank God for Squarespace, am I right? Oh, you don't know what Squarespace is? Oh my gosh, well, let me tell you. They are the sponsor of today's video and they are the easiest way to get a website up and running. If you're a small business owner, an artist needing to put a portfolio up, if you're a restaurant, you gotta put your menu online. Lucky for you, Squarespace has so many gorgeous, beautiful, aesthetically pleasing templates for you to choose from. And then from there, it only takes you a couple minutes to get your website up and running. There is so much customization. I made my website all perfectly tailored with all of my beautiful little colors and things that I love. Squarespace also offers Squarespace Blueprint if you want to get a little bit more custom from the get. You can input all of your specifications, all of the pages you want, where you want them to go, customize it, get your colors and your fonts all good, and then Squarespace will generate your own template for you. Sell product with many popular payment methods, schedule appointments and send invoices right through your Squarespace site, provide memberships, sell online courses, set up newsletters, anything that you can think of that you need for your business, Squarespace has a way to help. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, go find a nice little template, play around with it, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/listthelast or use my code listthelast and you will get 10% off of your very first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring. Like I said earlier, we do need to talk about the item categorization in Pokopia. It makes no sense to me. How each item is categorized in this game is like if you went up to a Pokemon and asked them what they think an item is. It's like if you showed a Squirtle a sink, of course, they would be like, oh my God, yeah, that's a toy. I really do think that that was an intentional choice, but I hate it. If you click more details or whatever the little button is, you can see the item categorizations in Pokopia. Those item categorizations are relaxation, decoration, toy, uncategorized, and road. And it really baffles me that we stopped here. Why not door? Window. If you were to put a bunch of different items that are like lighting or like roofing or things like that, if you were to put a bunch of those different items in a chest and then click organize, it will organize the roofing pieces together and the lighting pieces together. It'll organize your rugs all together, but it won't tell you the categories of the items when you click more info. So there's this secret category that the game knows about that we don't get to see. And it's like if you're not going to give me an add to stack button, it sure would be nice to just press more info so that I can blaze through my whole inventory, putting things away based on category instead of having to sit here and think, okay, like this item, yeah, it's uncategorized, but I got to make sure to put all this stuff over here in this box. Like, what? If you're already gonna have these things categorize themselves in the game, why can't we just know about it? I don't know. It would cause us to use a lot less brain power when trying to organize and put things away in our storage bins if we could just clearly see the categories. On top of that, there's all sorts of different Pokemon preferences assigned to these items that, yeah, we just don't get to know about. It's a lot of guessing. What the fuck is sharp stuff, round stuff, wobbly stuff? I don't know. Tell me. So how would I fix it? I would make the item categorizations just make sense. It sure would be nice to just, you know, have a sink not be toy. With the amount of items in this game, everything should have a visible category. And then you know what? Let me go ahead. Let's just insert this here. I also think we should be able to see more than 2 rows of our storage at a time. That would be majorly helpful. Now I'm just adding shit because yeah, I do feel like all of this could be a lot better. And while we're ranting about items, should we talk about recoloring? You thought that organizing your storage was tedious. Oh, just you wait for recoloring. How fabulous is it that they gave us this many items in the game and we get to recolor them and make things so creative, so pretty, add patterns. As you progress through Smear Guru's quests, you get to recolor multiple parts of items. It's great. I don't love having to seek out Smear Guru every time I want to recolor an item. I've learned to keep Smear Guru very close, closer than my friends and perhaps even my enemies. I don't really mind having to go and make my own paint. Having to make the paint colors, not really an issue. But those two things in tandem massively annoy me. I think it's like a pick a struggle situation. Either you're gonna make it hard for the player to recolor items by having them have to go to an NPC every time, or you're gonna have them make each individual paint color. Like, you kinda gotta pick one. If you wanna paint on the go, you can try paint balloons, the most useless fucking object ever created. If you use a paint balloon on an item with more than one part that is able to be recolored, the whole thing's fucked. Maybe you use paint balloons for things. I personally, not for me. How I would maybe fix this is maybe after a certain point of progression in the game, Smear Guru can teach you how to use the crafting bench to recolor items. Is that too easy? I don't know. I think that this whole process that you have to go through for recoloring items might just be too annoying. It is just a too clunky feeling for me. Now let's talk about Pokemon housing. Hashtag house the Pokemon. They're doing just fine, actually. It is amazing how many different options we have for housing in this game. You could do bare minimum habitats, use blocks and doors to build houses in the open world. They offer kits to create prefabs or, build your own. All you need is a couple blocks and a door, and that's a habitat. And then there's the different housing types that are in separate instances, behind loading screens, and it takes you to this whole inside of a building. The fact that there are so many options for how to house your Pokemon, very good. But why do the houses in the open world have to feel so cramped and tiny and small inside? Even the prefabs that the game offers are just entirely too small. You can't even walk around in them. I would love to be on my tiny house shit without having to get immensely creative with how I do it. 6x6 is just too small. I gotta build mansions for all of my Pokemon. When I first started playing Pokopia and I got through the story, the first area that I tried to rebuild was Bleak Beach. I felt like it would be a really great place for me to start because they already had, all of the outlines for all of the buildings right when you enter, and all of the prefab housing kits, they kind of just fit in those spots perfectly. So I was like, okay, great. This would be great for me to experiment. So I go and I restore all of these buildings and they're just too damn small. And then on top of that, I'm having the hardest time with the habitat zoning. Let me show you why I am actually kind of unhappy with how this went. This is the first one that I made. This is currently my house and Audino's house because I love my girl Audino. Audino is a trade Pokemon, so she can run a little shop. I did all of this thinking okay, cool. The shop's gonna be downstairs and then she is gonna live upstairs. Did you see that? Oh, when we're down here, we're in the habitat, but when we're up here, we're not in the habitat. Also, fun fact, the Pokemon can't use ladders. Nobody on Reddit has seen a Pokemon use a ladder yet. So I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind for the next house. So I built this house. It's a little bit larger, a little bit wider. I decided for this one, okay, I'm just gonna put stairs instead. So I put all these stairs in, I changed the whole layout. Oh, no habitat up here. It doesn't extend vertically. The habitats do not. So building 2 floors, kind of boof, not gonna lie. So my last part of my experimentation here, Makuhita's house. I just really want the upstairs and the downstairs to be all one habitat. That's all I wanted. The ceiling literally needs to be exactly this high in order for the upstairs to still count as his house. I tried it up one, doesn't work. I hate how cramped this is. It is so bad. Eventually, I did figure it out in Bleak Beach. I got the houses to a place where I'm relatively happy. I had to kind of cheese the whole habitat boundary thing with having to do doors upstairs so that all of the things below are still in the same habitat. It was immensely complicated. How would I fix this? How would I fix Pokemon housing? First of all, I wouldn't feel the need to do any of this if there was maybe a view wall toggle. If I'm in an established habitat, maybe I can toggle the walls like how you can do in The Sims or something. And secondly, I would love to be able to establish the habitat zoning ourselves. I would like to be able to dictate the size, the height, the depth of the habitats. Maybe that's asking for a little bit too much. Maybe instead what I should ask for, if I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic, is that habitats should be 1 block taller. Please and thank you. And also, okay, wait, no, since I'm here and I love to be picky, I would love to be able to do accent walls on the interior houses. I love partition walls. I don't know if you're able to put wallpaper on partition walls. I actually haven't tried that. Wow, just got a really great idea. Gonna go implement that later. Oh, and then I do think some Pokemon should be able to use ladders. Yeah, I said it. You got arms and legs, you should be able to go up and down a ladder. That would have also saved me quite a bit of headache. Look, I've done a lot of complaining about tiny little quality of life things pertaining to building and items and storage. So I think to atone for my sins, I need to take just a second here to sing its praises. The building in this game is so good. It's very robust. There are so many different possibilities for things that you can build and create. Magnet Rise is amazing. That unlocks so much potential, and I'm constantly, even still, learning new things that I can do with Magnet Rise. Like the other day, I just learned that you can retrieve rocks and vines with it. I was going and trying to like leafage, make my own vines, and then delete the blocks behind it. It was so complicated. Maybe when I play through the game a little bit more, I'll discover more of these things. I just think that all the things that I talked about are glaring issues that, if addressed, could make the game feel a little bit less clunky. And if you think that addressing any of these quality of life issues would make the game too cheeseball-y, I would counter and say that if you have players who are so into the decorating in this game and they want to continue playing this game past when they complete the story, which is when you get Magnet Rise after you complete the story, if you have players like that, I think you should reward them by making it even easier. Because essentially with Pokopia, once you get through the story, your reward is creative mode. So yeah, if you want to have Smear Guru teach you how to recolor things at your workbench, I think that that's great, because such a small amount of players are going to actually go and like continue playing Pokopia after the story, after they get Magnet Rise, and go and redecorate their whole towns. You might as well just make it easier for them. I don't know. Also, it's me. I'm one of those players, so I think I should be rewarded. All right, back to being a negative Nancy. Next up on my list, water. The ocean physics are fucked. Pretty much the first day that I started to rebuild Bleak Beach, I fucked up my ocean so bad, and it took an extraordinary amount of effort to fix it. Climate change has hit the Bleak Beach, babe. I don't know what to do. I fucked my water up so bad. And once I did this and kept trying to fix it and inevitably was starting to make it worse, I closed the game and I simply just have not touched it since. How did I do this? See, okay, do you want to see what happens when you suck up the water, right? Oh, it doesn't just replenish. No. Oh, and I can go down in here. Yep, just walking around. Yep, it's I don't know what to do. I can't even describe to you the pain that I felt trying to get my water in the ocean back to 1 level. How would I fix this? Water reset button. I don't know. I'm sure that many of you guys are gonna bring up that this is kind of a problem in a lot of different games, particularly Dragon Quest Builders. I've never played Dragon Quest Builders. I know that a lot of the team that worked on that game worked on Pokémon Pokopia, so naturally, you know, some of those issues are going to follow. Water is hard. The physics are hard. Is it possible to get a water level reset button? I don't know. And you know what? Since I'm not a game developer, frankly, that's none of my business. But damn, that was crazy. They had me out here trying everything. I was doing things like bombing the ocean with Voltorb. It was insane. One other water complaint. I want to be able to pick up items when I'm in Lapras mode. There are destroyed item blocks sitting in my ocean, never to be retrieved. I'm not going to sit here in a 360 gulp, try to get them all. Perhaps when we're Lapras mode, we could be picking up items in our wake. I don't know. I think that would be nice. I think 2 of Pokopia's strongest elements are definitely the story and the Pokemon dialogue. The way that we uncover the story through, you know, the little notes, the human records left behind, and then we like piece it all together. Oh, it's so good. No spoilers, but how it all wraps up is just perfect. Yes, some of the story quests are a little bit formulaic at times. There is a pretty straight and narrow formula for how each story quest in each region goes. But I don't think that's bad. I do think there is enough variety between each area to where it doesn't feel so samey. And the times when they do directly copy and paste quests, I think are really funny, like the slow poke and the Torkoal thing. Oh my God, I was hooting and hollering. I loved that. And then from the second that I started playing Pokopia, I was so impressed by the variety in Pokemon dialogue. Again, another comparison to Animal Crossing. That's kind of the first thing that comes to a lot of people's minds, I've noticed. With Animal Crossing New Horizons, there's only so many different personalities. Each lazy is going to talk the exact same way. All the jocks, you know, those boys, they talk exactly the same. You're going to have multiple of each type on your island. So the repetition is incredibly noticeable there. In Pokopia, there's not a lot of similarities between how each Pokemon talks. Each Pokemon does have instances of their own unique dialogue that's very personal to them. The shy Pokemon are like, oh my God, I'm so shy. We have the southern accent. There's yo Pokemon. There's certain speaking patterns that when used for multiple Pokemon, you'll notice that they're being reused, but it's just not nearly as repetitive as something like Animal Crossing New Horizons. I will say that the personality and charm does fall off a cliff after a while, a huge fucking cliff. I think most of the Pokemon only have unique dialogue when you discover them for the first time. And then if a Pokemon sees you and comes up and wants to give you an item, they all have like the same exact dialogue, it feels like. Here's a gift just to say thanks for all you do. It's like, how many fucking times can I hear that a day? And then some Pokemon lose their personalities altogether for some reason. Smearguru, great example. He was one of my favorite special characters. I loved the whole like tortured artist thing that we were doing. And now that all of his quests are done, anytime I go and talk to him, he like completely lost all that sauce. He used to have so much swag and so much aura. What happened, Smearguru? One other thing that I also can't help but notice is that when there's two Pokemon interacting and you go up and try to talk to them, there's only very, very limited times where you're able to actually enter into that conversation. Versus in the Animal Crossing series, if you go up to two villagers that are having a conversation, you're gonna be able to join their conversation no matter what. I wanna see what my Pokemon are talking about with each other. I know that's like a really big ask and that's a lot of dialogue to write, but it was really disappointing when I realized that there's only very, very special circumstances that you can listen in on a Pokemon's conversation with another Pokemon. So while I initially praised the Pokemon dialogue and how diverse it was, now that I'm this far into the game, I'm like, whatevs. Talking to my existing Pokemon isn't all that interesting anymore. I love discovering new Pokemon still. I have not even barely touched that Pokedex. So I have lots of dialogue to look forward to, but I just wish there was a little bit more. I also think that there are some glaring Pokemon omissions in Pokopia. Not to get serious on you guys, but where is Bidoof? Starly. Oh my gosh, I'm such a Sinnoh girl. Okay. Skitty, Spinda, insert your favorite Pokemon here. Where are they? I do like that we're introducing new Pokemon to Pokopia through the little special events. It keeps people checking in and stuff, but I'm just like, wow, like they chose to omit so many good Pokemon from this game. I'm like, is there a DLC coming? Do we got a sequel in the works? Oh my gosh, I would love if there was sequels for each Pokemon region. A lot of people also feel like we missed out on an ice area. I know that there's ice blocks in this game, and I know that they do have a purpose, but like, why didn't we get a whole winter snowy themed area? Oh my gosh, that would have ate down. So if that does come in a DLC or a sequel, I will be there. I personally think that we should just move on and do another region and do a sequel instead of a DLC, but also if a DLC comes, I am not gonna complain. And of course, you know, they can't just put every single Pokemon in Pokopia. You gotta have stuff to look forward to in the future titles. But I don't know, I just think that it's like crazy that we're forced to have Mr. Mime and we don't have like a shaman yet. I do love the Mr. Mime prisons though. Those are very good. So that is a good reason to put Mr. Mime in this game. Like I said, Pokemon Pokopia is a near perfect game for me. I am literally still so obsessed with it. I play damn near every day. Every single night when I go to bed, I am booting up my Pokemon Pokopia. I barely even touched the new Tomodachi Life, to be quite honest, because I'm still just like Pokopia brained. I made this video not to rag on this game at all, actually. I just think that I should be able to decorate a little house for my little guys without having to be institutionalized after searching for one specific item in all 35 of my big storage boxes. Is that too much to ask? Damn.